I'm Craig, and today I'm going to show you around Flow Motion by Waves. I'll show you how to get some pretty cool sounds without getting buried in algorithms. We're going to dive straight in, explore some presets, look at how we can easily tweak them, also look at how you can use FM in ways you've probably not tried before. Let's get to it. I have a synthwave 80s inspired track here that's been built only with Flow Motion, apart from the drums. Before we dive into the sound, let's get a super quick overview of Flow Motion's interface. As you can see, the main focal point are these four big circles, which go into this middle circle here. The four main big circles are oscillators, and the middle circle here is the visualization of the sound that you make, so the waveform. Now, these oscillators are connected via lines. These lines will light up to show you where the sound is flowing. Now, there's two types of oscillators in FM synth. You have something called a carrier and a modulator. A carrier makes the sound, and how we turn an oscillator in Flow Motion to a carrier, we simply go to this dial here and we turn it up. That essentially sends audio into the middle here and we can hear it. These lines on the outside that connect the oscillators together enable us to use an oscillator as a modulation source. By turning this dial up here, it will then send the waveform to this oscillator, which will modulate the frequency, hence the name, frequency modulation. Like I say, the cool thing with Flow Motion is once the sound is playing, everything lights up and you can see where it's flowing. So let's check out this bass sound and see where all the signal is flowing. Did you see there? We have this going down here, this one going here. That means those two oscillators here are the carriers. Now, see if you can notice where the modulators are. Now, did you see this one here is sending modulation to this one? Now, if I turn that down, can you see how that changes the sound? By turning it up, I'm sending more modulation to this one. It is essentially speeding up the waveform and creating more of a metallic sound. Now, in each one of these oscillators, we also have the ability to change the waveform, octave, tune, fine tune. We can also switch it between pitch modulation, FM modulation. We also have a panning dial here. And these little kind of empty circles you see dotted around are points where we can add in these modulation sources, which I'll show you as and when we need it. Now let's hear this bass sound again, and let's look at how we can use these things at the top here called ratios. Now the ratios essentially speed up the oscillation of the waveform. What this does is it creates a more brighter metallic sound. Now if you do this on a modulator, it will affect the tone of the carrier. If you do this on the carrier, which is the sound source, it will affect the pitch. So check this out. I can now affect that tone of this bass. So not the pitch, just the tone, make it more metallic, create more harmonics, and this will help it cut through the mix a little bit more. Let me do it to extreme, then I'll roll it back to somewhere that feels nice. There we go, we made the bass sound a bit more percussive. We added a little bit more attack to it by increasing the ratio, and it gave a bit more of a metallic sound, which will help it cut through the mix. Now we can also add some warmth to it with an amazing Waves audio effect here called the Magma little tube. All I'm going to do is turn up this drive dial and listen how it makes the sound fat. So it's on, let's turn it off. Nice. Just adds a little bit of thump to it, which is great. I love it. Okay, next, let's move on to our piano sound here. Again, I am going to use another classic sound. And again, how you access these sounds is you go up to this little drop-down menu here and you have all these presets. And we are in the classics area here, which are heavily inspired by the Yamaha DX7 synth. Now, if you haven't heard of the Yamaha DX7 before, it is probably the most widely used hardware FM synth of the time. What's interesting with this synth is it was a nightmare to program. It was really hard to adjust the presets, so a lot of the time producers just kept the presets the same, which makes it great for me and you. It means it's really easy to dial in sounds from all those classic records. We just pull up a preset. DX7 Classic. Nice. Now I'm going to go into the motion side this time, and this is your usual synthesis controls. We have a filter, we have an envelope for that filter, we have an EQ, and we have an amplitude envelope as well. I'm just going to make this sound a bit shorter. Too short, that. A bit of release. Nice. Okay, let's hear that in with the bass and the drums. Let's add in another pad. This time I'm going to use another classic preset. It's called a PD choir. Let's add in a little bit more movement by using some of these modulation points here. Now you can see some of them have already been applied with these little dots here, so it's all nice and color-coded. You can also adjust the amount that is being sent along that line by increasing the dial here. I'm going to go up to here, which is a carrier, and I'm going to turn on modulation source C. I'm going to turn it up all the way to the full so you can hear what it's doing. Now we're going to add some IR Live. It's convolution reverb, which is really good, essentially putting a sound in a space. So I've increased the pre-delay a little bit and pulled back the reverb time. Nice, it just puts it back in the mix there. Let's bring that in. Cool, so I've used that on a send, so I'm definitely going to use that on some of the other instruments here. Okay, so now we're on to the Arpeggiator sound. So let's hear it first and I'll show you what I tweaked. So this one, again, I ventured into the future and used one of Lowe Motion's presets. I chose Pike and Plucks. Then I went into the motion section and adjusted the amplitude envelope and also the filter envelope. You see here, this really emphasizes the pluck on a synth. I do it really tightly there, too much, right? It's quite nice there, actually. Now let's listen to the last synth, which is this stab sound here. Again, I'm using a preset from the stab section, and it's PL, The Land of Tomorrow. Again, I didn't really do much to the FM side of things, but I went into the motion side of things and just played around with the amplitude envelope. I really wanted it to be stabby, but also have a bit of release. Now, if you listen to the original preset here, you'll hear it's too short. I want to make it short like that, bring that out a little bit. But also, can you hear it sounds like it's cut off a bit too soon, so I could just increase the release a little bit. Another neat thing is this Unison section here. We increase the amount of voices, put them slightly out of tune, and then spread them. That's going to make it sound a bit wider in the stereo image. Cool, let's now hear that in the track. So that is utilizing some of the classic presets and some of the new ones. And hopefully you can see there, by just tweaking a few parameters, you can really customize the sound to fit your needs. Now, I promise you we would look at FM synthesis in a way that you probably haven't tried before. And that is by using this unique feature to Lowe Motion down here, which is a snapshot sequencer. So essentially you have up to 16 steps here, which you can adjust with this little slider here. And each one of these squares here, you can take a snapshot of the preset. So for example, if I click on number 4 and I pull that filter all the way up, go back to 1, see that's changed, 4, 1. And what we can do is we can play that sequencer in time with our DAW, and it will scan through all the different presets, giving us this uncharted territory of FM synth of all these different snapshots of different presets, which can sound pretty cool. So check this out. I'm going to put it to a runtime of 16th notes to match our arpeggiator, and then I'm going to set it to host. Check this out. You hear like there on number 4, it went zip. That's where the filter opened up. So that's flow motion. Really cool, classic FM synth sounds with that ease and tweakability of a modern soft synth. And if you pair it with just a few waves, audio effects, you can see it sounds cleaner, warmer, open, more finished. So if you want to check out FM synthesis, now's the time. Grab Flow Motion. You won't regret it. So thanks for watching. That's all we got time for today. See you in the next one.